If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I am your host, Tane, here with a new episode. Y'all know that I love Survivor. I never cover it because I have to enjoy some stuff, but I had to talk about Survivor 50. And the first person to talk about it with me this season is Mel. Hi, Mel. How are you?
Hi. I did not realize I'm the first to get to talk about Survivor. This is so exciting because I never really get to talk about Survivor. Like if I do podcast guesting and stuff, it's usually other shows. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited because Survivor is I obviously watched The Real World and stuff back in the day, but I was a Survivor day one.
Yeah.
This is my bread and butter.
Yes, I told the people a while ago, like Survivor was my first foray into reality TV when I moved to America. So back from day one when Richard won, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. What a concept. So it's crazy that it's 50.
50
Isn't that
seasons.
insane?
Did you watch all 50? I did take a mild break during college, as many of us did.
Yes.
It took place on Thirsty Thursdays back in the day. So sometimes
Yes.
I didn't watch, but I did catch up on those seasons later. But now I'm like,
All in.
don't miss it. It's my fave.
Yes, I did take a break. I did take a break at some point where I just couldn't fit it in at that time, which is crazy because I feel like I had more time now and somehow I fit it in now. And I did not go
we have so
back.
many more shows.
I didn't go back to catch up, but it's still, again, my trifecta. It is Survivor, The Challenge, and Traders. So a little bit of housekeeping before we dive into that. Just reminding you guys that patreon.com/altarcallmafs. Some new bonus episodes are up there for you to listen to. Just did Inside the Manosphere with Brian. Oh my gosh. Like I mentioned there, it was uncomfortable for me to watch. Did you watch that, Mel? The documentary?
No, but I actually saw somebody else leave a review and they said the exact same thing. So
Yes.
I might just have to listen to your recap and not watch it and take your word for it.
Yes, maybe do that. But yes, that's up there. Did that with Brian. Also did Dirty Rotten Scandals, the E version of the America's Next Top Model with Raven. That's on there too. And if you want to go 3 episodes back, did Before the 90 Days season so far with Jason. So all available bonus episodes on Patreon. On the regular feed, still covering Love is Blind Sweden. I think the next episodes will be the weddings. Welcome to Plathville is coming back April 1st. I will be covering that with Brian as well. I'm on the fence with Temptation Island. That's coming back. That's a hot mess. And working on that. We'll see what's going on with the schedule, but that's also on there. And my final homework for you guys, I do have an upcoming episode where I will be chatting with a reality TV producer. So send me any questions that you have about reality TV and I will ask and it may be answered. So yeah.
That's very exciting. I can't wait to listen to that. And I got to think of some good questions too.
Yes, I will be waiting for them. Okay. Survivor 50. How are we feeling about the season so far?
You know what? I'm enjoying it. It's not perfect. It never is.
Mm-hmm.
We're still, do we really love New Era stuff? Do we prefer 2 tribes? Always. But I am enjoying overall that sort of nostalgic feeling, a lot of it tying back to history, getting the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
We suffered through one of the worst rewards, but what is that but not a historical Survivor thing? Because we all made Jack and Jill jokes. So you need a bad reward every once in a while,
Yeah. I think I'm enjoying it because I didn't want to get my hopes up. I was one of the people whining about the casting. I was like, I wasn't sure, like, is this the best we could do, or why do we have this many new era people? 3 people from a season is kind of like a lot, but little did I know, this is why I'm not a casting producer. Like, who knew all these people were coming with traumas? All these traumas are playing out in front of us and
So much
working
drama.
together to give us entertainment. It sounds terrible, but I'm enjoying it so far. We're in episode 5. I don't know if you've seen, spoiler alert guys, from last night's episodes, the exit interviews with Angelina, where
I have not fully. I did a quick skim
yeah,
on the Mike Bloom's one, but I
yeah.
haven't had a chance to listen to like actual podcast ones yet. But I'm very intrigued. You've got to tell me the tea of what's gone down.
Yeah, so the main highlight, I saw the interview with Dalton Ross, is her talking about how the women are being under edited this
True.
season, and they're being done a disservice, and it's basically like the bro code show. And she's not lying, and she mentions how Zac Brown has more confessionals than Tiffany, which is true. So, there's that. And it looks like she says they're going back. It feels like season 15, not 50, where it's going back to what it used to be in the old seasons. And unfortunately, she's not wrong.
No, the math is unfortunately correct. I have, I do a fantasy league for
Yeah.
a group of mine, and confessional counts are there, so I see it all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll be like, "How does somebody?" So low, because all their
Mm-hmm.
teams there, and it's like, oh, because their team is women who aren't getting confessionals, which is
Yeah.
so unfair.
Yeah. It's the disparity continues even in confessionals. And you would think that a show that is 50 seasons old would know better. But
Right.
here
At
we
least
are.
find ways to incorporate them. If you
Yes.
don't fit into the bigger game picture, because that is like, obviously there's stuff happening that's like
Mm-hmm.
out of their hands, but like, how do you fit those character moments in that are
Mm-hmm.
funny things they do? What's the, Christian pooped his pants. So like, what's the equivalent for
Yeah.
what did some woman do that's like a fun, quirky thing that doesn't have to be pooping her pants, but
Yeah.
something funny somebody does. Like the talent show was so male based and everything. There's just so much more. That there's more out there. And I think that there's probably a lot of stories too that we get a little bit of like their survivor trauma, but I feel that we're not getting many updates about how their lives have changed, which is very
Now. Yeah.
different, I feel, compared to past seasons. Because as I've watched it, they are like very different people who have gone through
Yeah.
either traumatic events or joyful events, like lots of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a little bit of that, but maybe they're also trying to stay away from, because we do complain on New Era that it is like everybody is just,
Emotional and
yeah, that everything is like,
like a
what's your
story.
sob story as opposed
Yeah.
to just like players. So I don't know, but I think it's different when it's a returning player that we saw when they were like Jenna was what, 21 years old when she did
Yeah.
the show,
Yeah.
and we haven't seen her since All Stars. So like, you tell us what her life is like. Her kid's a grown adult now that we had heard about. So I miss that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think they're overcorrecting, and they need to put more faith in the people that they cast, not characters, like the people that they cast. And a very good example of this is like the whole fallout with Christian. We are going to talk about that. I think the plan, guys, is to talk about, certain highlights. Then we'll talk about episode 5, which was last night. So the whole thing happened with Christian, and Emily has been back and forth. We don't know where she stands. We did not get enough story from her. Like, okay, now this has happened. Are you going to go back to Ozzy? Are you going to go back to Christian? That's an example of where that is part of the story. If the argument is that, oh, they're not really part of the big story, Emily is a very big part of that story on the Vatu tribe. So,
I totally agree. I felt like it was like sort of getting slapped in the face that Ozzy says to her, like, you are my number one. You are who I want to play with. I don't really want to play with Christian. I understand you're attached to him, but like, this is what I want to do.
yeah.
And then she went right back to Christian. I wish there was just that one confessional between or afterwards to say, like, I want to work with both, or I need, like, this person is my number one. I'm just using the other person. I think there could be more internal monologue for
Mm-hmm.
these female players that are like holding up everything, that are coming up with these ideas. They're the foundation of these alliances of these men who are so strong and thinking it
Yeah.
all, but actually there's some powerful women behind the scenes doing it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me start with, who are you rooting for?
Well, for anybody who does not know, I'm quite biased. I am rooting for Aubrey. Aubrey is a longtime friend of mine. I met her before Survivor. I've rooted her on, and this is like just a coincidence of, a longtime Survivor fan meets somebody who gets on the show. So I'm very biased, and I know, mixed opinions of how she's played at various times over the years. But what I'd say is that who you see on TV is a character, while also I do see my genuine friend there, but you are also seeing an edit to like who this person is, what their game is, etc. So I'm a big Aubrey fan, of course. I really like Tiffany, so them aligning is like music to my ears. Really been enjoying Christian. Maybe we're getting a little too much Christian now, but I do like him. Of course, I'm a human being, so I'm rooting for Suri. Love D, and then I think I'm becoming a big Rizzo fan. I feel here's the thing. We can debate. Okay. I think that there's something very earnest about. I think that because it is 50 and it's a celebration of the show. That having someone who is a lifelong super fan, and is like a decent player of the game and young, because this cast does skew a bit older. Like it's a good balance. So I think he brings an energy and that new era oomph versus like Jonathan's new era. I don't really care, Like I would watch Rizzo play a few times because I do think he will like change and learn and adapt his game.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
Like when he said when he was like, I'm not a guy's guy, I was like, oh, I love you.
Okay. Our lists are kind of similar. It's so hard because for each person I name, I'm like, oh, but I like that person. Oh, but I like that person.
There's parts I like about most people there.
Yeah.
I think the easier thing you could ask me was like, who do you dislike? And I feel like I can name a few. But I do get why people are present on this season, that they aren't for me either like for their own ideals or just like long time in the game. But I understand why they would be on season 50. I mean Stephanie, basically. I've never been a Stephanie fan. Like I just didn't get the hype back in the day. I respect that she was the last person on her tribe. Like that was a first Survivor history. Hey, we decimated an entire tribe. They didn't even merge. They just absorbed her and put them in the ugliest chocolate brown buffs, which now I appreciate. But I just I've never gravitated towards her game and her personality. So she's just one for me. That I'm like, I get why she's there. Yeah. But I don't really care.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like, just name names. Name them. Who?
Yeah. Name them. And I'm also, I'm not a huge Colby fan.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Sure. I get, but again, I understand your importance to the lineage of the show,
Yeah. I'm surprisingly, it's so long ago. I don't really remember his season. That was season 2, but I'm enjoying him so far on the show.
Seems like okay. Coach gave him truly a terrible nickname, and I can't even remember what it was because it was so long-winded. You could almost, when he got nicknamed, you could tell Coach, or he was saying it back over and over to Coach because he was also trying to remember what it was, because I need to know this. It's going to come up. If I don't, it's going to look bad. But it's
I don't know.
Something of stone.
Listen,
Make
you
it
put
easier.
Him, the 3 honor and integrity guys, I'm zoning out.
Pass.
Just not for me. But I'm rooting for Christian. I call him our national treasure right now, and I'm hoping that this edit, it's a winner's edit or it's an edit of, listen, he's leaving soon. Let's just get everything out there, and that's we'll find out. R.I.P. Charlie. I was rooting for Charlie.
I was fine with him going, but I am, Tane and I are on video right now. I am dressed as an homage to Charlie because I realize that I do have a navy and green rugby shirt that I wear all the time. And I've tied a buff around my throat. Unfortunately, different buff color. I bought Vatu not knowing what a curse they eventually would become. You buy one to support your girl and then you end up with the curse tribe. But it's a nice color.
There's one every season.
But boy, he talk about trauma.
Yes. We will talk about those because I just wasn't expecting this much trauma coming through, and maybe the casting producers expected it, and it's coming out in different ways. I'm rooting for Camilla.
I do like Camilla.
Rooting for Tiffany also. I'm rooting for Ozzy, but I don't know. After last episode, I'm like, I don't know. Do you know that you're playing Survivor? Why are you being so whiny? Like, I don't get it.
It's a bit of both. Because I see where he's coming from being left out in a vote and being like hung out to dry, where he probably maybe he would have just gone with it.
He wouldn't have. Like,
No, he
even
really
before
wanted to work
he
with Mike
said it,
White.
yeah, even before he said it in the confessional, I wrote it down. I was like, I don't know why he's making such a stink because he wouldn't have. Like, it is. And if they left you out, up your social game. The whole goal is to up your game so they include you
Yeah.
in it.
And it was 3-2-1, so he wasn't the
Yeah.
only person left out.
Yeah.
But I guess
yeah.
Stephanie was like, it's complicated. I'm intrigued at least to see, listen, is he playing well? Not necessarily, but I am intrigued that Ozzy is trying to play better. Do you know what I mean? Like, he really
Yeah.
is like in there thinking like, I'm eating right now. I've got this. Like, I'm a changed man. When it's like,
It's main character syndrome too.
bless your heart. I do want to cut his hair on the island. It's just not, it's growing out even worse as he's
Even
out there on
worse.
the island.
Listen, like you said, I'm rooting for Suri. I think in my brain, I'm just like, how can she pull this off? Like, no one is going to take her to the end. But then
Only Rizzo would give his game up for her is the way I feel, because he's a super fan and I think he would do it. But besides that, you can't, like, I think it's you keep her as long as you can because she's amazing. But like, she wins in any scenario if she gets to that final tribal council. She could play the worst game possible and still sit there, and I would still give her my vote because I'd be like, it's Suri, and this is a cumulative award.
But here's the thing. I'm saying, like, how would she make it to the end? But when you think of the fact that Sandra made it twice, Tony made it twice, they let them get to the end again. So maybe it is possible. I don't know. She's such a force that
the thing with Survivor, it's so much luck now because New Era is so twist heavy and luck and boomerang idols.
Good segue. What do you think about that? Because I've heard it keeps saying, oh, it's not that bad. And I don't think I like it.
I had a conversation yesterday about it, and they made a great point, which is they didn't mind it being there. They didn't like that's all the idols. And I think that's a good point, which is like, yeah, make one of them a Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. Come up with some other ideas because now they're all out there. They're all the exact same.
Yeah.
What are the other twists of it if everything's supposed to be so dynamic? Then also, like, we're not playing them. We're sitting on them. When we fans voted, and I put it in quotes because I really don't understand.
Voted.
Like, come on. I remember them saying like dynamic and stuff. So to me, what I took for like dynamic was maybe like things last for a couple days. Like when it's like, hey, you need to use this idol by second tribal council, third tribal, like things that are doing that, not like passing it off somebody and then we're just going to sit on it forever. And you also gave one, not that she knew, to the guy who sat on an idol for 25 days. So like that thing's going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like not hitting. And I also, the Billie Eilish investment.
Yes.
I have like no attachment to her music, so I don't know. Here's the thing. Obviously, like I get it from like a business perspective. We need the biggest celebrity names. She hasn't even acknowledged or posted about it. The point of this probably was Billie Eilish is going to put it on her Instagram to however many million followers she has, and they're all going to want to watch Survivor or whatever. It's not on her feed. She never put it on she doesn't talk about it. So like, what did it do?
When you said we need the biggest names, do we? Survivor is big name. A whole bunch of people who stop watching are watching 50. We didn't need this. And if we were going to do it for the fans, make it a Sia Boomerang, unless she hates Survivor so much.
Somebody, or like, I think it would be funnier because we all use the term colloquially. Make it the Tyler Perry idol.
Yes.
Like that people who we genuinely know watch the show. And maybe like I just missed out on if that's not my niche of music or whatever that she talks about all the time for all I know. I just like, no. And same with like, the Zac Brown thing, not my cup of tea. If it were somebody else out there, maybe I would have enjoyed it a little more. It wasn't an entertaining experience. Probably a life, like, as Coach babbled on and on, a life-changing experience, whatever. I think in the moment, if you were there, it's a very cool, unique thing. Like, who gets that done? Mm-hmm. But it was just like, we don't care about these celebrity super fans. Like,
yeah. I mean, we all know that Jeff has been running this train wherever he wants to go. I don't know if it's a fear of like, oh my God, I'm getting older, I'm going to get replaced, and let me just do whatever. I don't know what it is, but he's just like stuck on, I don't care what you guys think. I'm doing what I want to do. And this whole introduction of celebrities is kind of strange to me, especially on 50. Introduce it on a regular season, I guess.
Yeah, why
The
didn't we
whole,
meet them all anywhere when we needed
yeah,
that boost? And then also that sets up long term. And I know part of it is that we don't have reunions anymore. And this season, I'm assuming we voted for a reunion. Like, let's be.
yeah, this is a live
I think
finale.
actually, I think it's like known because wasn't the immunity hunt idol
Yeah,
thing go to the reunion? But like, build something across time so we know who these celebrity fans are. Because to me, you could be telling me like, yeah, they're a fan. Like Billie Eilish, she's a fan, sure. Like I don't know, but versus like I know Tyler Perry's fan. He's watched it all these years. I know that they had in the preview for the season they mentioned Jimmy Fallon. I at least know Jimmy Fallon watches the show because he's
yeah.
had people from Survivor on. He occasionally like I'll see like a viral clip. So at least that makes sense versus these total rando famous people that allegedly watch the show. And we don't need it now. It's a
Yeah,
bonus, but like
we don't need it at all. And even if we're going to incorporate it, do it as a reward.
yeah.
Like part of the season is people looking for idols. If you get an idol out, like you said, we're sitting on it. We're not going to get the fun of hunting for idols because it needs to go out for another one to come in. So that's part's gone in the hands of the fan, my ass.
Yeah, I
But
think we need more people go. If we like
yeah,
I was saying too, it's crazy that last night was the first time we had like a double boot episode when there's
yeah,
so many people. You needed to be churning through people for the possibility of this idol to make any momentum in the game. But it's not
yeah,
because we're getting rid of one a week.
yeah, yeah, that's it. Let's take a quick break and we'll be back to talk about Christian's move and what your thoughts are on that. Watching our loved ones age is one of life's toughest transitions, and a lot of people are part of the sandwich generation where you have to take care of young kids and aging parents. I've been through it, and I've also seen some of my friends overwhelmed trying to balance kids, career, and home while realizing they can't do it all alone. It's a lot to carry. If you don't know where to start, Care.com is here to help you breathe again. You can browse background checked in home caregivers or explore local senior living communities. At Care.com, you'll find specialized support for everything from meal prep to support for loved ones with dementia, backed by real reviews from families just like yours. And Care.com has safety in hiring tools so you can hire with confidence. Or you can even get a senior care advisor plan and talk to a master's level social worker to build a personalized care plan. I'm partnering with Care.com because it really is an easier way to find help. For a limited time, go to Care.com and use code AltocallMAFS for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan. That's AltocallMAFS, all one word. With Care.com, start your senior care journey with confidence. Over the course of my life, there have been so many women that have had an impact on my life, whether it's my mom, my aunts, my best friend, or mentors in my career. And I'm sure if you think about it, it's the same for you. But that's no surprise because everyone knows that women are the backbone of the home and society in general. But the many roles that women hold comes with its own pressures and mental load that can be isolating, and that's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com. And we're back. Christian's move was very divisive. My friend texted me and was like, "What did you think of his move?" I said, "It was great." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know. Am I wrong? What did you think of it?" And I'll share what I thought of it.
No, you're very right. I think it was a great move. I think that having the David and Goliath trio together is
Mm-hmm.
bad. It's a
Mm-hmm.
huge target. And already, I think Christian is very aware that he is like he's going to be the big game fish of the game. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
like I would have to say, like, with whatever is coming up, like everyone knows he is running this game. Like he is in trouble. He's
Yeah.
going to need new allies and whatever, and he can't rely on the past. Mike White is a huge person that people do want to work with, even outside of the White Lotus of it all. Like he's pleasant, he's agreeable, like he's fun to talk to and you just want positive people out there, it was right to get rid of him.
Yes.
He would turn. He's not that, he's close to Christian, but I don't think they're that close. But I've heard like in his exit press, he's talking about that they're thick as thieves. So I don't really know what the truth is,
Yeah.
What did you think? You liked it too.
Yes, I liked it. I thought it was like the correct move. I think where Mike White messed up was trying to play on Christian's trauma. Yep. Like if you're trying to say, oh, Gabby did this to you, you have a blind spot, and Christian saw right through it. And I've always said this. I know they all have stars in their eyes for Mike White. I know Ozzy really wanted to be on White Lotus, but Mike White is Hollywood through and through. And I do think, again, I don't know him. There's a kind of mean streak about him. There's a kind of like Mike White doesn't care, like where others might be, oh, I feel bad. Mike White is not going to feel bad, which is partly what makes him great at Survivor.
Right.
And that's what he used on Christian. And who's to say that he wasn't going to turn on Christian afterwards anyways? Like to me, it's like strike while the iron is hot. None of them in that tribe is going to vote Mike out. Angelina's not going to vote him out. Emily at the time wasn't going to vote him out. Ozzy is definitely not going to vote him out. He doesn't have his cameo yet. And Stephanie, I don't know what Stephanie's doing. She's just floating in the wind. So you had the time. Part of it was revenge. Yes, part of it was emotional, but he was able to justify it. And I'm okay with the fallout. And I feel confident saying it now because I know he didn't go the next episode after.
Right.
Because at the time everyone was like, yes, but he's in trouble. And I'm like, yes, I know Emily's wishy-washy, but I do feel like he did choose his friend, which was Emily. So there's a lot of off-show chatter about how close were the three, how close were they friends. Mike is upset that Christian didn't tell him he was having a baby. I heard that Mike had a Survivor viewing party, did not invite Christian to it. They keep saying they're friends, and I'm like, well, level of friendships, maybe they don't know. I just, there's too much talk we don't know, but it seems like he considers Emily his actual friend, and he was not going to turn on her. And I think ultimately that's what pulls Emily back, which is when she spilled about the idol to everybody. She did go to him and confess, because there is an actual, I think, friendship there. Meanwhile, Christian feels like the Angelina and Mike are disposable. I mean, Angelina's been saying that he was speaking poorly about them in the pre-interviews. I don't know. It's just so messy, but I still think it was the right thing to do. And he's still here. He did damage control with Ozzy. So now I'm doubly sure it was the right move. And now they got the merge. They're bigger targets now. Yes, he's a big target. But the thing about Survivor is like, you lose your attention span. You're like, oh, look over there. There's someone there. Oh, look over there. And Siri's there. Coach
right,
is
there's
there.
Legacy targets this time. There's other people, that it's not just about this game, that there is who could sway the tides more than others, because we know their game.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just so glad that he survived. We're going to get to the main episode, but I think I want to ask, what are your thoughts, especially being a friend of Aubrey, of the whole Genevieve and Aubrey thing? What is happening there?
Well, first, as a TV viewer, phenomenal TV to have rivalries, because
yes.
I do think that we've gotten a little soft sometimes in New Era. And I'm not saying let's cast full villains, but I think it makes it trickier. And maybe that's part of it to help protect contestants, because I think the hardest part of this show, and why like I personally would never do it, and I give kudos to anybody who's done the show, is the way that the internet berates them and speaks of them and all this kind of stuff is a lot. They're in a high pressure situation. They're tired. They're not eating. They're away from their families. Like I think when I mentioned like not knowing new things about people, like Aubrey's a newish mom. Fans don't realize that. Like she's gone through life changes that aren't being depicted on screen.
Yeah.
And I think that could give context to like, why is she emotional?
Yeah.
Well, because she's ostracized, feeling left out. I left my job. I left my family. I left my child, like all that kind of stuff. Like that'll get to you.
Yeah.
But her and Genevieve is interesting because I think it's like we see each other, that like they're very similar-esque players. I will give kudos because I do think Genevieve is playing different than last time, which is she is playing a social game, because last time she was like, no new friends. I think she is making friends this time. But I think it's just clear that like they can't work together and that they don't want to be together on this beach. It's like Aubrey said it in the episode last night. She was like, I do respect Genevieve. We just like, she doesn't want me on this beach.
Yeah,
She
they
wants
don't
her out
trust
of the
each
game.
other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's just the nature of it all. I think it's, who knows what it will culminate in. As an Aubrey fan, of course, I'm rooting for one side of it. But I mean, it is like giving good drama as opposed to, again, we discussed it lightly. I'm sure we'll probably talk about more. Coach giving nicknames.
Yes. I'm so glad that Aubrey got the Billie Eilish Boomerang because I think it injected some life. I think I was like, Aubrey looked like she didn't want to be here, and it looked like she was just like, where can I go from here? I'm on this tribe, nobody wants me. And I think that injected, some new life into her, and she's just like, okay, I have a chance here, we can do this. And I know I've seen some comments about a 17-person merge. I don't care. Merge. I want them all together.
It's season 50. They started with what, 24 of them or something? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Australian Survivor has like 88 contestants every season. Like, just go with it.
Oh my God, you read my mind. I was literally about to say
that. I will say before though, I have not watched this new season. There's too much on.
Yes.
I'd heard, so when we replaced the host, I was not thrilled.
Yes.
I deprioritized. I have heard pre-merge wise right now. It's amazing. And I'm getting a little like, do I need to watch this? But I don't know when to find the time.
Yes, it is not the best of Australian Survivor, but the last 3 episodes, mind blown. Fantastic.
Do you think season 50 can hit that level? Or are you like, no, I think Australia still might be that girl?
Not with this season with Australian Survivor. Season 50, I think I'm enjoying more. I'm a nostalgic girl. So yeah. It does have returning players. That's the funny part, but it's not, and they're running circles around them. And that's what I love. The fact that rookies know thy place. So the host, you can feel JP's presence. You can feel his presence.
He's ever present. I mean, that wasn't the issue with that show, but I digress. I don't want to get into a whole Australian Survivor chat. It would be, I'll tell you what, you want the fan to show up on season 50, bring JLP on. That would have been kind of iconic, really.
Jeff would never.
Well, they did have that weird like meetup after.
They did.
Right? So like, I don't, now it's, I guess territory war won, but I think there would be something very cool to acknowledge the global presence. Cause like in the hands of the fans, all this other stuff, like our power of US is what has made this a global show. So I think it would be neat, but unfortunately,
we get Mr. Beast. Yay.
Yeah, don't worry, we got Mr. Beast. We got Zac Brown.
One final thought on Zac Brown. So I too was like, what is this? What's happening? I know of him. I don't know his music. I'm not as touched as Dee was. But I read an article, I think her name is Mad Dog, I can't remember, that wrote the article. I kind of got a different perspective about it. It's like, listen, just like we enjoy the show, celebrities enjoy shows like that. Who was it that I just saw that met Olandria and was just like Zendaya? And she was like,
they're real fans too.
Yeah, so they're real fans too. And I'm sure this show has done a lot for Zac Brown. And I'm glad that he got to come here. The problem was it did not need to be 20 minutes long.
Didn't need to. You know what? One song. When they played one song, I went, okay. When he said, do you want to hear another one? That's when my breaking point happened. And then I spent the whole episode like sort of stressed, like I was like waiting for the jump scare. They were going to cut back to that beach and he would be there. So it was just like we said, just set us up in advance more. Who are these super fans? Why not for the last year off we've had dropping in videos on social media of celebrity fans, like pay them to get that out there. So then we were more invested in this than just a random person. And I think like, I'd say he's niche, but obviously he's massive but there's like, it's a different audience. So at least like for him, he showed face, like, and he, probably posted about on social. I didn't go looking for it, but I'm sure he was thrilled versus No Story Billie Eilish. I just think there's like so many fans there. Like, I think maybe that's what, if we just had reunions still, we would have more of that. Cause you just kind of find out in passive ways now if somebody watches some sort of show.
They do or not. Yeah, I think that's the only thing. And I think like, what tribe was Dee on at the time? They really messed up because then it would have been full circle if Dee was the one that, was on the reward with him. Okay.
Yeah, then you would have had people more. Well, but then it's like you get Dee, who's like a super fan of this, or you get Coach, who's just like going to give you every soundbite you need to let you know this is the most important thing in the world. So I don't know which one, if you were a producer, you'd prefer. Maybe that's the question you ask your producer guest.
There you go. Okay, let us get into episode 5 and starting with the Vatu tribe, aka pink, maroon, whatever color you think it is. Ozzy is big mad. Ozzy is big mad that he was left out the vote and they've come back. And again, we've talked about how everyone came with their trauma and that's what's making 50 work. Oh, I forgot to mention Savannah. You mentioned that Rizzo and how he was like a good player and all that. I haven't talked Survivor and this thought has been in my mind that I'm not like a huge fan of Savannah, but I don't know, in the few episodes that she was on, I appreciated her game. And I'm like, if Survivor ever goes back to bringing back multiple players, oh my God, Savannah's going to be great.
I think she'd be an excellent two-time player. I think she is a good player. And I think tying into like the future of this too, I
Mm-hmm.
think Rizzo had one story he came to the show with and then had to kind of ride with it because I think he was trying to downplay him and Savannah's relationship. Because from the edit we saw, I would say
Yes.
like they are a trio, but like I always thought I was like it's Rizzo and Savannah and
Yes.
Sophie. And maybe it just like that was whatever to set up for 50. But to me, they were always close. I felt like it was, oh, I've made up a story. I now have to like go with this
Right
the
into the
entire
end.
season. Not that his number one was actually
So,
Sophie and therefore he betrayed her, which of
yeah,
course is the impetus for what will happen
everything.
in episode
Yes.
5 and the
Yes.
vengeance being sought on either side.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I was also like, really? Sophie? She came afterwards. Like, no. So that's a good exit interview. Like
Would
when
have
if
enjoyed
she
her though,
exits.
I will say on 50. I think she would have I think if it was her over Savannah, I do think Sophie would have had a better shot because
Oh
if they
yeah.
didn't have a winner, because they just like assumed there was a winner and then like they kind of figured it out. But I think Sophie has that like staying power to ingrain herself. But I mean, again,
Yes.
it's all luck, so who knows?
It is luck. What tribe would she have been on? Would she have been on the disaster tribe again? But her social game is really strong. And I heard that someone spilled in Ponderosa, so they knew before they came ahead of time. Because I was surprised that Savannah spilled that she was the winner. I was like,
Yeah.
huh? But they knew ahead of time. But going back to Vatu, there's not really much going on. Like we said, they didn't tell us Emily's point of view, but Stephanie has gone back to Ozzy. Stephanie's like, I'm sticking by you. To prove that I don't know if she was good casting, she's not really floating with the wind. She's not really standing on, I don't know if it's because luck of the draw of the tribe that she's on and she doesn't have much power of what to do, but she's just like anyone who will have me will have me. But I do think like at this point you do have a choice. If you want to continue sticking with Emily and Christian, you could do that. Like Ozzy is a threat. Let's not forget. Like
I
everybody
absolutely.
wants.
He's now going to make and I was trying to remember and maybe you recall. I think he's made the jury every single time he's played. Like he's never gone out early, right?
Oh, I'm trying to think. He's done 5 times. I remember.
Yeah, and that's the one thing is I remember there was like one season with redemption, and so I can't recall. So
Yes.
maybe he like did go early but stuck around. But either way, he has a very good stick around track record for whatever it may be.
Yes. And that season you're talking about, funny enough, I just rewatched it. He made it to 4th.
Yeah, so
He kept
like,
going, kept coming back.
and we
Yeah.
forget like he did almost win once. Like Ozzy,
Yeah.
but you can't usurp my king, baby. I'm a Yule girl through and through. Thank you very much.
Yes,
But
you.
yeah, like he is a threat.
Yes.
It still blows my mind that tribe gets swapped, shuffled up, and ends up with one person clearly that you could easily get rid of afterwards
Yeah.
in Stephanie, and they still didn't do it. Like I'm very
Yeah.
intrigued by that.
That's what we mean by it's just a shuffle game when it comes to Survivor. It's just like, okay, there's a chance to do this, there's a chance to do that. But they could have done that with Angelina, which we're gonna talk about. But I think because they view Stephanie as right now to me a goat.
Yeah.
And for anyone that's new to this, goat is not a good thing here in Survivor.
No, unfortunately.
And they're just using her as a number. So I
Yeah.
think that's why she has stuck around. So going to the Silla tribe, the orange tribe, there's Jonathan, Charlie, Camilla, and Dee who fancy themselves a foursome, or so they think. Charlie is still obsessed with Rizzo. I'm not calling him Rizgod. With Rizzo. So he's still thinking about him saying that he didn't vote for his number one. And I don't know why. I get it. What Maria did was terrible. Honestly, I would never speak to her again if I were him. But it's a new game. It's a new situation. You can still be mad about it, but don't show it.
You know, like,
Why?
you don't know the full game. I mean, yeah, it was number one, but maybe she did something. Like, I feel bad because I know I did see briefly in a Charlie Express that he had other reasons. I don't know what they are.
Oh,
I think that's what I saw in the headline. But yeah, that his whole story is just down to like the trauma of him with Maria. And then they give him like the crazy Zoom and everything. Like, it's very well done.
I
But yeah,
mean,
it just comes off that like pure like had like almost like no other thought in his mind except for that, and like no other game besides like get rid of Rizzo.
even if it was the edit, you can't edit the fact that he woke him up in the dead of the night or the
Yeah.
morning to ask him, who else did you tell about the Billie Eilish Idol? I was like, wait, we couldn't wait till the sun came up. We had to ask him. But I was listening to Rob has a podcast and he recalled a season. I don't know how they retain all this
No, I'm
information.
so bad at it now. I used to be great, but now, especially now with New Era, if
Too
you don't
much.
give me a name of a theme,
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember it. Sorry
Yeah.
to most of them. I don't know.
So he was saying how Charlie said that the best conversations are had before everyone wakes up or something like that. And I'm like, well, this is not an important conversation. In fact, I would argue that this conversation is what put the nail in his coffin because it suddenly made Rizzo like, why is he asking me this? And then he susses him out, and all of a sudden he doesn't trust him. So now Jonathan doesn't trust Rizzo either. And D is like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I like Rizzo. And she goes and he shares about the Billie Eilish Idol. What did you think about these two coming together?
I liked it. I support this. It was
Okay.
fun to see. I think it makes sense for their two energies and also the
Mhm.
new era of it. Because I just feel like Jonathan's just like there. He just
Yes.
doesn't seem, and I don't know like what he's really like. Again, we're just not seeing much, but like it doesn't seem fun. I feel like Rizzo is fun. I think he hasn't.
Mhm.
I think like he's a bit of a risk god. I think he just has an energy that people are drawn to, and that initially
Yeah.
it's probably a bit off-putting. It's a bit
Yes.
much, but then like they said at this first drive too, they settled in. They're like, oh, you know what? I like this kid. I like him.
Mhm. Like it takes a while. You know how when they tell you you put something, you have to let it simmer and
Yep.
then let it settle. And once it settles, like Rizzo is the king of turning things around. Like he's not a first impression guy, but give him a little bit and he'll become your guy. Jonathan, I don't understand why he was cast. And the only thing I can think about is just because this man is a physical like beast,
Yeah, that's it.
which
Right.
in a way is so unfair, but that's a whole, or maybe someone can't, okay, I don't want to diminish, maybe he has a personality that we don't know about, but I don't know why he's here. I can't justify, like, he's not controversial. He doesn't have like so much history with anyone that was here that I recall.
I
Like
don't remember how he got
Marianne is
out.
not here, so I just,
Did he get voted out or did he lose 5? I literally can't even
he was
remember.
in Final Tribal. I think it was
Was he?
him. No, it was Marianne. He wasn't in. Oh, he wasn't. My memory's now. I just watched this a few
It was
days ago,
Marianne, Mike.
and the young guy, not Alex or something. He's the blonde, tall surfer dude guy. So that means Jonathan was like fourth. Yes,
Yeah.
Jonathan was
So did he
fourth.
lose 5? I can't. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Like, it's kind of just like, I know he was there, but
Yeah.
like to me, he had like no larger impact. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
was very good at challenges. But
Yeah.
like, if I were listing names of people in the new era before Survivor 50, I just like, I probably wouldn't remember. Maybe I would because I don't remember that many from New Era. It's just, again, it's a blur. You need to name the seasons. We don't need to
Yeah.
cast themes, but we do need
Needs to
something to
name.
remember them because they just become
Yeah.
a stack of seasons, and vaguely you can maybe name like who won, but not like the whole group anymore.
He
Or at
used to
least
be
I
the
can't. Maybe it's I'm old.
no, it used to be the islands, but now it's all Fiji, so
Exactly.
there's nothing else to separate from that. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. People sometimes talk about GLP-1s as a way to cheat weight loss, but what they don't talk about is how they're a powerful healthcare tool that's now becoming more accessible than ever with the new FDA-approved GLP-1 pill now offered at Ro. Starting a GLP-1 journey with a Ro Body membership comes with great benefits, such as 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance check, side effect management, dosing support, and more.
With all these benefits, this is what I would use if I ever considered a GLP-1 journey. In addition to the newly approved pill, Ro also offers a full suite of the most effective brand name FDA-approved GLP-1s, all at the lowest cost. Go to ro.co/alter to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/altar to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety. That's ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication.
Okay. I'm taking solace in the fact because Siri, I hadn't heard anything at this point from her, but I'm taking solace in the fact that on a red carpet, I heard Tiffany say that watching Siri play was amazing. The only way she would know that is if they were playing together and they made merge. So at this time, I didn't know it was merged. So I'm just like, okay, Siri's going to be fine for a little bit. And so is Tiffany. So until I see any separation, I'm good. I feel confident that they're going to be in for a couple of episodes.
I like your thinking cap there. Thank God. It was nice to see Suri being brought in on this too. She wasn't left out on it, especially because she is close with Rick, who is not part of this plan. Yes. And I do have to say, one of the heroes of the season is Suri's lash check. Whoever did her lashes did a fantastic job. She looks great. She also looks like she has eyeliner on. Like Suri looks glam. And I would say best lashes of the season.
Her and Angelina, that's insane. Taking lashes to the
Angelinas
beach.
are a little too much. I think Cerie's are better. I think she works, but they're just not as good. No disrespect. Just if I had to choose.
The thought of having lashes to the beach, I wouldn't risk it because it could fall out and then I'll look crazy with half on, half not on. But it's working out for Siri so far. But yes, Rizzo has Operation Bad Blood, which is great in itself. If you don't know, Taylor Swift has a song named Bad Blood, and Charlie is a self-proclaimed huge Taylor Swift fan, and Rizzo is like, in your honor, I am going to have Operation Bad Blood, and he wants to get Charlie out.
It was good.
So he's just like Suri. I mean, they're under the radar, and he gets all his people one by one. I'm watching it. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Because he's telling everyone about the idol. I'm like, at this point, who doesn't know about the idol?
That's what I was thinking when you mentioned like the wake up call. And I was like, well, yeah, who doesn't know at this point? I think maybe, but I feel like Jonathan must know because I feel like Charlie probably told him, right?
I don't think he did.
I don't know,
because that was what got him to realize that he knew. And well, if he did, why wouldn't they show it to us?
Yeah,
why wouldn't they show us him telling him? So I don't know. And the thing is, like, Charlie had all this whole plan that I want to get Rizzo out, but he wasn't really doing anything. It's like when you talk about a plan, but you're not putting it into effect. And Rizzo is a doer. Rizzo is like, I'm getting your ass out and I'm doing 1, 2, 3. And he did it immediately, not waiting for the right time. Let me suss this out. Nobody has time for that. Like, let's go. And that's the advantage of New Era. Charlie is New Era, but Rizzo is new 2 weeks ago era.
You just can't wait around for, and assume that because we were on a starting tribe together and we have 4 that we're just going to go with the majority. That's definitely like what is not New Era is not a classic stick with your old tribe. That's old school, is to stick with your 4, go with it. New Survivor is we got new tribes. Let's start over.
It's like pivot. So shout out to Friends. On the blue tribe, the Kalo tribe, this tribe, we have Joe, we have Coach, we have Kobe on the same tribe. Honor, integrity,
this is a draining tribe
all the way. And there's, like, as Mel was saying, a whole scene of Coach, knighting Joe. And I can't believe these people had a straight face, went along with it. But Coach tells Joe that he's his number 1. I'm sorry, I called him Coach. He's Tide Walker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Tide. That's the only one I do remember. He gave himself the concise one and then gave both other guys
the longest ever. And it's just like, I don't like Coach's gameplay. Coach has never been my kind of guy. It's like the one rule in Survivor, and they say this all the time, when you go to tribal, own what you're doing. It's okay if you're not a quote unquote good guy. People who are obsessed with seeming or looking like a good guy, just be a good guy and people would know. You don't need to tell us all of that. So that whole scene with Rick Devens and Joe, I kind of feel vindicated because I had a listener message me asking about Joe, and I was like, I don't know why he was cast. I think it's too soon. And Joe was just not my kind of player. Like, you cannot come on here on Survivor and say you can't lie. You can't. That's what the whole game is about. And I was with Rick. It's like you're stifling people. Like, let them do what they want to do. And he was so intense. And I get it. He was played, but that happened. And I think Savannah was saying in exit interviews that it was way worse than we actually saw. So I don't know how much worse it could have been, but that's what happened. So to have them all here talking about they're going to be the best and never going to lie to each other, it's like, stop it.
Boring.
Kind of have to.
Joe is as old school of a new school player could be. And maybe that's like his niche because I do know plenty of people really liked him.
They did. And I felt bad.
And I did at the time. But like, I do think that he, at this point, much like Charlie, seems traumatized by his experience. And I think bringing him in with the two people also that were the ones, or at least one of them was sort of the catalyst of his trauma is probably a lot to sink into. Like, I'm sure when Kyle went, there was probably a little bit of like, at least I don't have to like see him anymore, or I don't have to encounter this.
Yes.
So maybe that helps him feel like a fresh game is coming. But he's not the most thrilling. You know, what did coach just said? Like, we're a bunch of strong guys. The guy who nearly drowned in sea from a cramp in his leg. Big strong guys.
Not the divers that were circling in the sea.
That's a strong guy. But I do, you know, I enjoy the quirkiness of Coach at times. Like, I get his importance. He is, you know, he's made for TV. He's a character. He's doing what he's meant to coach it up for. I think it's sometimes just not knowing yet, like, who is this really Coach or is it a character? Because I know he'll say it's a character, but like, is it? Like, I don't really know. But, you know, if I besmirch Coach, sometimes I have people who are like, are you kidding me? He's my favorite. So I don't know.
Again, the beauty of this game, there's someone for everyone.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, just because someone, you know, I try, like, again, it's very hard to separate when you have a friend who plays the game versus like other stuff. So sometimes it can be tricky when I see like my friends don't like how my friend plays, or they're not their favorite player. They were rude, you know, they wanted Michelle to win. They think whatever. It's tricky, but I have to remember, like, they're watching a show. They have different people they root for, like different styles of game they like. And that's just how we all like differ, you know, and that's how I put it out there, and it can be tricky, but
I'm fine actually if Coach is even playing a character. If you do stuff, own it. Like, even that's early as the thing that happened with Ozzy and being so upset that, oh, you're not going to. In what world is it noble that if he did all the work and you're like, I'm going to take the key? It's a game. Rightfully, you can do that. Just say, like, I was going to take the key, but don't say, I'm
now
not
he's full
a
of honor.
bad guy.
He still has honor.
Yeah. So just own it. We all have a little light and dark in ourselves. Okay. Finally, on the Kahlo tribe, Aubrey goes to Coach because she's like, I need a person. I need to find someone who I'm going to work with on here. And she goes to Coach, and Coach is like, yes, I'm going to work with you. And now Coach has pledged allegiance to 3 people. So now he's pledged to Colby. He's pledged to Joe, who is allegedly his number 1. Are you surprised that Joe is his number 1 and not Colby?
A little bit. But I guess like they do have history because they've played together. So maybe there's still a little bit of like backstory there that we don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was
or maybe it's like
surprising to
knowing,
me.
you know, popularity, or knowing maybe that like Colby can be a little savvier at the game than Joe is. Because like the thing about Colby was that Colby was always like the honor integrity guy.
Yeah.
Colby goes on Heroes versus Villains. And so that's a season that I need to rewatch. I had a bad taste in my mouth going into Heroes versus Villains because I had the season spoiled for me. So to that point, when I watched, I remember being like, but I remember that was like Colby was a villain because I remember when they went to that reward and they fought over the idol and that kind of stuff. So I think that there is a little bit more to what Colby could do if he puts his mind to it. But I don't know if he ever really will, because I do think he still has like perception of the public in his mind and that kind of thing. And then now this pressure of being Coach's honor integrity crew. But it does seem like people all preseason, when Mike Bloom did that friend or foe, I believe every person said friend for Coach, or at least the majority. And we also forget because she's not present. But Coach also has Chrissy, which I don't know what, you know, she doesn't have a nickname that we see right now. I did see on Instagram that Coach gave Aubrey a nickname.
Wow. It's the removal of Chrissy, because did we see her at all?
No, this episode actually, now that we're saying, I don't think she was present whatsoever. I mean, she was at the reward last time. I think she's very invisible this season.
That's crazy. Like, that's a choice, to do that. Before we go to the immunity challenge, I just want to say, like, that scene when they were knighting each other, Joe, Coach, Colby. For a second, I was like, you know what? I might prefer watching Zac Brown at this moment. I give or take. It was a lot.
One more song.
That was too long too.
It was
Why are we
very
watching
long.
people being knighted when we could be watching something else?
It's because there was a 30-minute story behind each nickname of everything. Like, just Coach's his nickname. I give Coach a nickname. TLDR. Too long, didn't read. He is very long-winded.
Oh man. For a second, I don't know what I was rewatching and my brain glitched and I was thinking, I was confusing Coach with, what's his name? I just blanked too. There's another player who kind of looks like him.
I know who you were thinking. Were you thinking of Troyzan?
Yes. Yes.
You said T, and I was thinking of the hair. Yep.
Yes, I was thinking of Troyzan.
Too nuts.
Because when you watch the old episodes and you're like, wait, is it Coach and he's just younger? No, that's not him. He has that, but Dragon Slayer is not Troyzan.
No, but they have that same, they are the same archetype. Yeah. And then remember that the season that there was Troyzan also had Tarzan.
Yes. So it's a lot. Thank you for remembering.
I don't know if that's like I should be proud of this or sad about myself. A little bit of both.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
Be proud. Yeah. Okay. So Jeff tells them that only one tribe gets to win this time and 2 tribes are going to tribal and it is a double elimination.
Finally.
Double vote out. We learned that Colby injured himself and I'm like, where is this from? Because for anyone who doesn't know also, when Kyle left from an injury. They didn't show it, I guess, I don't know, to protect Colby. But Kyle actually made it to the top. He went back down to help Colby come up, and that was when the whole thing happened. But we don't know when Coach injured himself. I think that would have been a good story to tell, but what do I know?
Yeah, I'd be intrigued, like, because he hurt his foot. Does he have like maybe like a really bad plantar fasciitis? Like, I don't know. Again, if it came up a little sooner, that like I've been nursing this. Like, I don't know why it didn't feel important enough to kind of bring up before.
Yeah. So they start the challenge. Honestly, guys, Jonathan is such a physical beast. Does anybody stand a chance? Is this going to happen? But, I want to give kudos to Ozzy because Ozzy is, a little older than Jonathan and he is keeping up and he's doing all the things, getting all the fish. So the one thing his legacy is going to be, I don't know if he'll ever win Survivor, but his legacy will always be like he is a challenge beast, I'm there. All I am thinking at this point is that I need Vatu to win because I need Christian to be here. That's all I'm thinking the whole time. And I'm like, what were you thinking, Tane? Never gonna happen. Disaster Tribe, they're so behind that it didn't happen. Kalo wins and Vatu and Scylla are headed to Tribal. Before they head to Tribal, Rizzo does his final touch and grabs Camilla. Camilla is underrated. It's a good thing for her. And it's a good thing that Kyla's not there anymore.
Agreed. It was a big thing for her. I think it's a double-edged sword because you never want to see anybody go out that way.
Yes.
At all.
Yes.
If he got voted out, even better because that helps. But I think it helped to separate them all a bit to give that season 48 a chance. I think they're 48.
Yes. It completely lowers her threat level. Because they're just going to see her together. And also, if she makes any moves, no one's thinking like, oh, it's with Kyle. She can have it and own it on her own.
They're not as worried that she has someone to link up with at the merge. Because nobody thinks that she's tight with Joe, which I don't think they are. So she is very much a free agent, able to be scooped up by any alliance.
So Rizzo tells Camilla about the Billie Eilish Idol. And she seconds Christian Hubicki in the acting skills. And is like, what? Because she already knew. No, she didn't know. This was the first time. I'm sorry. Charlie.
Yeah, it was Charlie brings up to her. That's her good acting.
Yes, that's her good acting. Sorry. So Rizzo tells her about the idol, and then Camilla clocked he keeps saying that what did he say? That he hadn't told anyone. Oh, that Kyle was his number one. That Kyle said that he should take care of Camilla. Is this true? Do we think this is true?
I don't. So I was going to say I don't think so, but Kyle seemed from his exit interviews to be very well ingrained with that group and that tribe. And he kept saying, like, I had deals with this person, that one. And he said, I even had something with Aubrey and Angelina because, like, they were on the outs clearly.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's impossible. I don't think he necessarily said, like on his parting words, work with Camilla. But I think like it's possible that he was tight with Kyle.
I'm more inclined to believe that Kyle is like, take care of Camilla or work with her than
he's a nice guy. I do.
Kyle
it's possible
being his number one, because Kyle had his 3 other people that he was working with. So Charlie decides that he needs to tell Camilla about it, and then that's when Camilla does the acting, and she's like, she's never heard about the idol, and she says that she feels like he was too slow. We've talked about this before, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think that was a thing until she said it. She was like, oh, you should have come to me sooner. And I'm thinking like, wow, it seems so little, like forgive him and keep moving, but it really was a big thing to her. And is like, no, I don't want to work with you on that level. What did you think about that?
I think it makes sense in this new, faster game because you've obviously they haven't gone to tribal. So he's been able to sit on this secret for several days.
Yeah.
And if you have something like that and you have somebody that is like your trusted ally, like somebody that really you do want to ride with, you would tell them said secret. So you can't keep stuff for too long. And I think that is a little bit to his detriment. And like you said too, you can't wait around anymore. And it just sounds like they were coasting on this idea of like, oh, good, there's 4 of us. So we'll just go for Rick or Suri, which obviously, pivots a bit from there, but we'll just take the easy out.
Yeah. There's nothing to do on the island except just strategize. And if you think things are so straightforward, like, oh, we're just going to vote this one person, never get comfortable. I think that's another important rule on Survivor. Like, always be scheming. Is what you should be doing.
And I think there's a lot we aren't getting because I have to assume that there's a lot of pre-gaming for 50 because there were people who were like, on the list for like when there was a rumor cast list, there are people who have been there from like day one. And then there are others who showed up like super late. So I have to imagine that there were conversations, especially those who like knew they've been locked in for forever.
Yeah.
That like stuff was going on. So I wonder if there was like any underlying of like, we all talked before. So like, we're probably cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But still, again, things change fast. Like just
exactly, you can't
keep
rely
reassuring
on that.
them. Yeah, it's like you get into a relationship, keep dating them. Don't just stop. Just keep
exactly. Don't get comfortable in your relationships anymore.
So, over in Vatu, Christian wants to vote Angelina out, and the whole Davis versus Goliath 3 to me suddenly became like a nothing burger. No one was like, oh, well, we're gonna seek revenge or whatever. I don't know if it's editing. I don't know if it really didn't mean anything to them, but that's the story that we were fed. And Ozzy he meditated. He's not as mad. I don't know if it's that he really did or he's like, oh God, I'm on TV. It's more vicious now. I need to do damage control. But I'll give him credit that, he looked inward and was trying to be better. But then he tells Ozzy that he tells Christian that he wants his shot in the dark. And I don't like that.
Also, it's just so funny because like shot in the dark is just like comes up like occasionally in conversation, but none of us like as viewers even thought it was like still there. Like I was like, oh, thank God we got rid of that dumb one. And then it's still lingering here. And like I cannot imagine that any single player on this season will use shot in the dark. That's like because I just feel that your vote matters so much.
Yeah.
For like a chance. And also important. Like, I don't know what the odds are this season because they, since it hasn't been played, we don't know. There were so many more players. So did it impact the number odds? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a game device that I'm just not super keen on. Like it paid off like one time.
One time. Yeah. Cool. They should have brought him back. I don't remember his name. Abel? No, that's not right. But they should have brought him back.
Caleb. Yeah, that thing is, it's just that some of the choices they made were interesting and that they had 9 seasons to choose from of New Era and they basically chose from 3 or 4. And I think that was the issue is that basically you could have easily one person per season. Didn't even do that. A lot of missed opportunity. But like you said, we're not the experts of casting. Yeah. It's panning out well, but I also think it could have super backfired for all you know. But the
Yeah.
David and Goliath thing, I think they made the right move of also getting rid of Mike last week, because if they got rid of Angelina and kept Mike,
Yeah.
this split becomes a lot more detrimental. And I think that if Angelina goes last week, I think
Yes.
Christian does go this week, because I think
Yes.
Mike corrals the votes to just be like, he turned on one of us and we were all friends. They were in fight, all that stuff.
Yes.
So I think it was the right move in hindsight, even if people were a little upset about it. I feel bad because Angelina got like nothing sauce this season. She's
I
kind of
was
there.
gonna say the same thing. I was like, I don't even know. It felt like she was ready to go. Like,
Yeah, it was like, it honestly kind of felt like game wise, you needed to get rid of other people first. But I was kind of like, I would have, like, it felt like we could have put her out of mercy
For sure.
out
Yep.
for a couple of votes ago. I feel bad. I
Yes.
think she's like a very fun, iconic player, but I just think that the luck that she had in her draw overall was, well, it seemed like it could turn around because they all got grouped together, but it's the worst thing you could do is to have you all together because everyone's looking at you.
Yeah. I just feel like she's in a different phase of her life, and it's just she's not as intense as she was, because even Mike being voted out, we didn't even get a confession like, oh my God, how could Christian do that to me? It was
That's
just like,
true.
well, Mike's out, then what next? Like, what's your next move? Are you gonna rally people together? Are you gonna do stuff? Like, even when Emily came to her the last time, she was just, really? Me? Oh my God, this is the realest I've gotten. Thank you. And then that's it. I'm like, Angelina,
You seem
come on.
resolute to her. I think maybe she even
Yeah.
thought like, I'm just on borrowed time at this point or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Christian does give Ozzy the shot in the dark. I mean, he called him we don't know, it was blanked out. So either it was
called him like
shithead.
Polly Prissy Pants or something like that too. Something
He did. He said, I can't believe.
And I'll tell you, that is a better nickname than the Tidewalker. And the other two we cannot remember.
Yes,
I feel bad. I feel like I should have written that down, but I was like, oh, I'll remember. When I watched that, I was like, I will remember these names for later. I watched it twice. I cannot tell you. And I'm sorry for not remembering Coach, but I do. I mean, Tidewalker is memorable.
Detergent, White Walker, put it together. Yes, he did call her for what was it again? A prissy.
Was it Prissy Pants?
Prissy Pants, yes, when he was whining about it. But then when he asked him for the shot in the dark, they blanked it out.
Yes.
He either called him a shithead or a dickhead. I don't know which it was.
Release the uncensored cuts of Survivor, just like the way Bravo does it.
You have Paramount Plus, guys. Use it. I mean, I canceled mine, but yes. And
we would get Paramount Plus for curse words. Mark our words.
So I'm just grateful that Emily is sticking with him at this point, because we didn't know where that was going to go, because Ozzy did pull her aside. I was like, oh, I want to work with you. I want to do this. And I'm like, oh God, what is going to happen right now?
Yeah, maybe we're not getting her confessional so that we don't have the cards revealed, I guess. But I do want to hear more from her, because I think that she's been playing, I'll say, an interesting game, because that's one way to put it. I did like it.
It's a reckless game.
Yeah, that is a better way to put it. It is a reckless game. Like her blabbing Aubrey's idol. As Aubrey's friend, I'm like, what is happening? I'm like so mad, but I'm like, this is craziness. And then so she tells everybody and then immediately goes back to be like, I'm so sorry. I told everybody. And Christian's losing his mind. Like, she's bringing the entertainment that we need with her reckless game.
Yeah, she is, but she's like, I don't have the fortitude to go through this stress. It's too much stress. When they were trying to vote Mike out and they're like, don't tell anything, and she says, Ozzy, come here. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening right now? But I do feel confident that immediately Ozzy has that conversation with her, she goes straight to Christian and tells him. So then I'm like, okay,
it's very clear now. We know.
Good.
So
yeah,
it's just more. Listen, it's just that we want more confessionals from women, and we're trying to figure out ways to squeeze them in there. That's it. We just want their confessional counts up.
So over on the other side, Cirie says that she's old school. She doesn't know what it is, but it's something about Rizzo that she likes. And she actually spills and tells him that she has an extra vote. Listen, game-wise, maybe it's a great move. All I know is when I heard that on my TV, I'm like, no, don't
Cirie,
tell him.
But I think if any one player were to take a hit to appease fans, it would be Rizzo. But he wants to win. I think he really does. Like, here's the thing is that they are, numbers wise or whatever, in this spot, there is a very smart move to make of like it's easy to get rid of Suri. She's one of the best to ever play.
Yeah.
Like, we should take the shot. But instead, it's we respect Suri. We want to play with Suri, keep her in the game, which is all her power and everything. So I'm thrilled because I don't want her going out early. But I am also aware in the back of my mind as like, if somebody did vote her out or make the plans to get rid of her, like you do have to. Like, if you were good at this game, you do have to go for the best that's ever played. Like, come on.
But it depends on how long you want to keep Meat Shield with around, because she's not good at challenges. And I think that also helps to lower her threat level. Like, let's say Jonathan had the skill of Suri. You're like, we're never getting him out. I'm basically an Aussie. Let me say that.
Yeah.
You're just like, we're never going to get them out because they're going to win when it's now individual immunity. We're never going to get them out. But with Suri, you can 85%, 90% guarantee that she's not going to win. So we could just have her there. And then if it's me and Suri, they're going to vote her out. Like, I'm not as threatening as she is. So
what's funny, I recall on Australia versus the World that she was actually kind of decent at the challenges, wasn't she? I thought she held her own pretty well.
I don't recall.
I recall being like terrible. More like not that she's coming out, winning the all-time women's record by any means, but like for someone who's now, how old is she's in her 50s?
She should be in her 50s, I believe.
So just like somebody a bit older, she doesn't typically do well on those things. I just don't remember that being a thing on Australian Survivor to be like, oh, there's Suri. We're losing the challenge because Suri fell off the balance beam.
Yeah.
Suri can't throw the monkey's paw. So like, I felt like she did better in that. So I think she's got it in her. Yeah. I think it's that, you know what it is? I feel like Australian Survivor diversifies their challenges. They do. And American Survivor is jump, swim, retrieve puzzle pieces, do a puzzle. So like, and if you're not good at, if you're not doing those right the first time, like you're not going to improve.
Yeah. She's 55, by the way. So
love her.
Rizzo decides to take the route of saying that Survivor 50 is about cementing his legacy. I'm like, dude, you're on your second. Like, okay. And then he won't shut up about how well he's played. I'm looking at this guy like, what are you doing? Like, is this the right move? But clearly it is. What do I know? But he's just telling people how he sat on his idol, what he did out there, and how he was such a good player. And Jeff is like, man, do you want to come to 50? And I'm like, this is intentional, right? This is not just verbal diarrhea. Do you think?
Can't decide. I think it's helpful because in one way, like you don't want them to think that you were just like a character and put there. But you also don't need to reveal that much. I don't know. But I think part of it is if he came solo, you can do whatever you want. But the fact is that even through these conversations, we found out like Savannah blabbed a lot. So even if you didn't want to say things, too much came out.
Yeah.
And I think he almost had to own up to whatever he maybe didn't want to because there was like, I was shocked that she told everybody, like, it's one thing to be like, yeah, I won the season. I worked with Rizzo. We had another, like that stuff. To then tell everybody like, yeah, because also I'm thinking long-term, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're 2 season 49s in this game. Goal is we will link up and probably work together. We work well together.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you tell everybody like one of the biggest cards that you could play, which is like, he's going to bluff that idol all the time. And like, but to reveal all that stuff, I think she was trying to bond too, but just gave out TMI and then she's out of the game and then it doesn't matter. But I think there could have been something smarter about what you share and what you keep closer to your chest.
And this is where I'm thinking like there had to have been conversations pre-game that she's like, I have nothing to lose. I might as well just say it, that because they already knew. Because if there's a conversation about her winning, there had to be conversations about her game. And those things I think were probably out. And also, if there was pre-gaming, I don't see Rizzo keeping it to himself that he sat on an idol.
No, because that is like
he's so
what he
proud
had.
Of it. Yes.
That's so like all like not to say that's all he did because he did a great. He was a good player, but that was like his claim to fame. So
his claim to fame. R.I.P. Show.
R.I.P. That and losing fire. Because it would have been amazing if they all three made it. Because then I think it would have been a very intriguing final tribal to have an alliance of 3 sit there. You have to, sort of like harken all the way back. The original Survivor Fiji getting 3 buds to the end together.
I think if Rizzo made it to the final, he wins. just because of that idol move. Funny enough, we're
You
saying like it
think
wasn't the only thing.
I still feel like if Rizzo and Savannah are there together, I think they divide a little bit. And I think Sophie just ekes it out. I think it's actually just like a very close vote. I could see it going either way though. I don't think Savannah wins though if he's there.
Yeah. I thought Sophie was going to be a 0 vote, but even I was believing she was very good at the final tribal cancel. So
yeah, and she had a very good social game.
She did a good job. So
I hope we see her on the show again in the future. Is what I say. She didn't get 50, but maybe. I think that it shows the power that like I know we stopped doing returnee seasons, and I think that our issue is that, and what we griped a bit about for 50, besides not casting enough of like the new era, was that we are seeing a lot of people who have played many a times.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can continue doing returnees, but not people have overstayed their welcome, and it is like the one, the one-offs and that kind of thing. I've always felt, and I know this is going to maybe be kind of controversial, that in a way, and I think it's more that other people got robbed of getting to play multiple times. I kind of thought that this would be sort of the turning point of like that new era now owns. Like this is kind of a farewell to these people we've seen before, and that like going forward, like we're taking from a new batch. I don't think they'll do that. And I go back and forth on it, but I just think it wouldn't surprise me if we hit that point of like clean cut. We're starting over. This is new era, baby.
I don't know if they'll ever do that, and I think that's what the challenge is going through to the show.
Yeah, where there's a bigger problem, I think. Well, because at least Survivor, like it'd be tough, but like you can be much older on Survivor and just figure out your niche. Versus like on the challenge, like at a certain point, you can't, bungee jump off a building and do a slide puzzle at the same time or whatever. That actually seems feasible for an older person. To take that back. But whatever they're doing is not as physically easily to continue on doing.
But we have tier levels of vets. We're not, because when you see vets for the challenge, you're thinking of the CTs, the bananas that are like in their 40s, but we have lower tiers that they're still younger, that are in their 30s or 20s, and they just stopped calling them to come back. And it's like, what are you guys doing?
They're in a real crisis. It's not good.
And they're not investing in the newbies to make them vets. They're just, every season we get a new face, and like the cast for this season is terrible as far as I'm concerned, but I digress. As if we haven't suffered enough, last week, whatever week it was, Jeff was rapping. We go to Final Tribal and Jeff decides, you know what? I'm an America's Got Talent. I'm going to show you that I can do impressions. And he starts doing impressions, not 1, not 2, but 3, and then does Christian. I got to say, he wasn't bad.
He wasn't. That's the worst part of this, is to say, I think that Jeff Probst's rapper, not good. Like, I don't know when the last time he listened to rap was based on the flow that he had. But his impressions were good. But it just came out. It wasn't like somebody didn't. Like, he just like threw it in. It just jumped into conversation as Jonathan.
I feel like he was planning on doing it.
He's just dying for it. He was like,
He's been holding it in. I gotta get it out. But Batu goes first. Remember, 2 tribals are going and they go through it. Again, I couldn't breathe. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Is Ozzy gonna turn? But thankfully, Angelina is voted off. I breathe a sigh of relief. And she does a little bit on her way out where she's just like, oh, hold on, Jeff. And then she gives their jacket to them that it's cold. And that was really nice. And a play for those who do not watch during her season, when I want to say Natalie was walking away. She was like, Natalie, can I have your jacket? Natalie
kept walking.
She kept quiet, kept walking, and was like, I don't know that woman. Sorry to her. So, like we said earlier, I just, I think I'm glad she left. I don't think there was much of an impact that she had on 50, and it was just good timing. And then we get the other losing tribe on there, and it's hard to believe that it's their first time at tribal. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy. Because they walk in and they're like, whoa, wow. And I'm like, what? We've been here how many times already? And we all know, they don't know, that it's between Rizzo and Charlie. And the way the votes are done, it's like 1 vote Rizzo, 1 vote Charlie, 2 votes Rizzo, 2 votes Charlie. And we're just like, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like hoping and praying that it's Rizzo going out. But Rizzo
was
is so
opposite.
smug. Oh, he was so confident. he was smiling, and then like the whatever fifth, sixth person voted out is Charlie, and I'm like, oh, so gutted. But listen, at that moment, I'm like, Rizzo is so annoying, but there's something that has to be said about his bravado about this. Like, it's just like kudos.
It was
Kudos to
great. It
him.
was a
Kudos to
great
Rizzo.
game move to, and also, again, as 49, it's very easy to just be like, let's get rid of the new guy. Why?
Yeah.
He's young, he's whatever. But he pulled this off. He
Yeah.
gave it a fun nickname for us to, be able to cite back to it. But
Yeah.
he really hustled and found his way to maneuver in here. And I give him kudos. And I was rooting for Rizzo to stay over Charlie. I just think Rizzo, and again, it's, an edit, whatever it may be, because like this tribe didn't go to tribal, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I can feel a passion for Rizzo that he is playing.
Yes,
that he is out there, like he versus, like, I think this ties back to everything we've been saying, like that Charlie was just kind of coasting, enjoying the ride, going with what he had, whatever. And it wasn't exciting gameplay.
Yeah.
What we watched last night was exciting gameplay by Rizzo.
Yes.
And that's what we want to see, especially in season 50.
And that's what happens when you come without trauma. The advantage of not having baggage.
Very true.
He came straight 2 weeks. What did he say? He's played Survivor for 35 days in the last 2 months of his life or whatever.
But what's
Does
funny
that
is that's
math
like
even make
not
sense?
anything compared to like, yeah,
older
you
days.
played 35 days. Congratulations. So you've
Almost
made it to
39.
nearly an original season's length. Congratulations.
So that's what happens. And then we get the after, and you could tell Charlie was so sad. I think he was crying actually. And just like, how did this happen? And it has to be because Charlie should have been a winner. It's just when it was so close, you could taste it. And then you get your second chance, and it's like, well, against all these people, it's going to be a stretch to win. So
this was an uphill battle for him when he was on 50. The other season definitely is I'd be crushed too. This one is, I think it's like it's an honor to be here is how I would feel if I got the call for 50. And I think that's why so many people answer, because who wouldn't want to be on something so monumental?
Of course. I'm a fan of returnee seasons. I know like they don't do it anymore. I wish they did. It's just fun to watch. Part of why I like Traders. Like you're seeing people that and it's like putting them all together. So people from different seasons and then putting them together and seeing how they interact with each other.
Agreed.
That was the episode. I do want to give a shout out to Tiffany in the challenge. Whatever she did with that rope, my God.
I love her so much. It's a bummer that she's not being featured as much. I'm hoping that maybe just her time hasn't come. Like that she needs her flame to ignite to kick off. Like that she just hasn't had the right shuffle and draw yet. Because she is just such a good personality and vibrant on screen, and killing in that challenge.
Yeah. You remember that's what happened to Erica, and she won this season.
That is true. I would love, because I follow, the accounts for confessionals and edits and edgic and all that kind of stuff. And I always had this question. I should ask them directly, but I've always been curious about like in New Era in particular too. Like, are we seeing a pivot in edit and edgic and that kind of stuff? Like, are we weighted to the past? Like, because things are very different. Sort of like when someone makes the challenge all-time confessional count.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but they have 90-minute episodes, not 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So like, does that make a difference? Yeah. But I've been curious about if Survivor is just working to tell stories differently than they used to, rather than like, oh, we've got a winner, so we need to like show them every episode, versus like now you can be like totally ignored and show up. And I think that makes it a little, it's a bummer for the winner.
Yeah.
But it makes a little bit more exciting TV if you're kind of immersed in like how the situation was going, where maybe like they weren't on the radar and they just were kind of around, but then suddenly they're like blossom or whatever,
That's true. And then the opposite could be said, because like Joe, one could argue that he was getting the winner's edit. We got so much
exactly.
Joe.
And that's what but I think I liked that too, of like, you got me, thank God. Because I think I did go into that finale being like, oh, so we're just gonna watch Joe. Like it kind of felt like, like how does Joe win? And instead it was like, gotcha, bitch.
I can't explain how happy I was for someone again who's not like a Joe type player. How hard I was rooting for Kyle. Kyle is actually my favorite New Era player, I must say.
He's amazing.
it used to be Marianne, and then I watched it again, and I was reminded like it wasn't really anything. It really was just that speech where it was just like I had that idol, and then boom, and I played
She
this, and
took
you
off.
just
She
see.
was I've always said, and I grew to really like her. I said, if I were on that beach with Marianne initially, her energy level is so
Yeah,
different than mine that I don't know how I would have done because
yeah.
she is so extroverted and exuberant. And I'm a good time, but I'm actually very introverted and kind of a slow burn. But she's that person that it started a bit like she came on strong, like a
Yeah,
Rizzo,
yeah.
settled, mellowed, found her place, and then just like took off at the merge. But I
And
haven't
then,
rewatched that season. I haven't rewatched any New Era season, so I give you credit there.
well, what happened is I was on a work trip and there was Pluto, and I just went on the Survivor channel and just let it
You're like, yeah,
play
whatever.
all through. So it's like my comfort show, and that's how I watch like all the different things. Winners of War also came up, and that is my favorite season. That is the season. If anyone wants to get into Survivor, I recommend that because if you,
Really?
yes, because the only reason why it's kind of strategic in that if you watch it and you've never watched it before and there are people that you like, then go watch their seasons. And then that's how it like, go out there and figure out the seasons that you want to watch based on the people that you like. That's the only reason I
Interesting. Yeah,
recommend
because I
it.
say, I guess like technically it like spoils all the seasons, but then like,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes some
Yeah.
or not all, but like a lot of them. My new thing is if somebody, because a lot of people, you and I discussed this at, I believe last, like about
Mhm.
traders being very like casual focused and new people
Yeah.
jumping in and they don't know
Yeah.
them. So I've found that's a good way to try to introduce people to Survivor because if there's somebody that they like,
Yeah.
especially like people are like, I loved this Parvati. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
let me tell you, let me school you. Here's my Bible of Parvati. So I found it interesting with this evolution of reality to be able to share and see people go back and
Yeah.
watch things.
Yeah.
I'm still
So
mad at the show when they did this. Did you watch any of the like, yeah, we talked about this last time. You did watch some of those like Survivor
yes, I watched all
early
of it.
kickback ones
Yes.
that I'm still bitter that they didn't show the first episode ever. I just think that was such a mistake.
It's the eradication of Richard Hatch. That man should be on 50, I think.
Yeah, like
It's the
he's
eradication
controversial. And I think
and
there's like a
controversial.
lot of
Yes.
stuff, but
Yeah.
he unfortunately is Survivor. And Rudy is no longer with us, or else I would have been
Yes.
like,
Yes.
bring him on the beach. I don't care if you vote him out first.
Yes. I think Richard would have done it also.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was
Sure.
good on House of Villains. He was fun on House
Yeah.
of Villains,
Yeah, he was.
which
So
I am
I
loving
think,
this
yeah.
season, by the way.
But also, you can't go on a show and say that you were offered money to do certain things, and then you'd win, and then we'll pay the tax, and you're not coming back. So that's it.
The rule of Survivor at this point: get a tax person.
Yeah, yeah.
No
But
matter
he was
what
the
place,
first.
whatever place you're going to come in, you're going to need someone to file the taxes properly. If you open an Etsy shop, find a tax person who can do your taxes for you. All the above.
Yeah. So, well, that's it. It was a good episode. I can't believe we're just on episode 5, but it's still exciting because that means we still have so many more episodes to go.
But we have so many people still left, so I don't understand how this momentum plays out. But I'm intrigued to see like how are we getting extra episodes? I don't think so. Like I'm very intrigued where we're going this season with
this.
we still have 17 people?
Yes, and as long as we don't do, I don't really enjoy the double and the triple evictions.
No, I don't love
Or
that.
vote out, and I also don't like the let's divide into 2, and then this group is safe. That group is gonna go to. I hate those
That's
so
true.
much, but I anticipate that that's gonna happen.
There's
at
got to be some stuff,
point,
but
so.
that, and I don't know. Maybe we've got Mr. Beast coming, but I don't know if there's any other celebrity cameos for us to
Oh man,
largely make fun of.
maybe Billie Eilish will actually show up. I doubt it. They would have told us that she was. But thank you, Mel, for coming
Thank
to discuss
you.
the season Survivor 50 with me. Always a pleasure. And guys, if you have any questions or thoughts or comments about it, you know where to find me. Also call MAFS on all of the socials. And until next time, guys, bye.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial. If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.